love and light. Well, I'm going to talk today about the other past life that I dreamt about constantly growing up that deals with this life and why I'm here this time. The other one I had growing up was being a little girl around age of probably around 6. And I'm in a group, kind of like a line almost, but not really a line, of a bunch of people, and our clothes have been taken away from us and our shoes. And I feel such humiliation. And we're being herded into a big room. And there's this one soldier that as he's pushing me towards the door, he reaches in, I think it's his shirt or something, and he pulls out this threadbare shawl and he hands it to me really low so that no one notices. And I wrap that around me as I walk into the room, as I'm being pushed into the room. And I feel such relief to be covered, I guess you would say, but I felt such thankfulness that he gave me that. And I looked into his eyes as he was pushing us in, and there was such sadness in his eyes. And I knew him. I just knew that in his eyes I knew something about him. And when I would wake up, I always would think that was my sister, which tied into the first dream I always had. So I knew that that soldier was my brother, my younger brother. Back to the story though, as I'm thinking about how thankful and grateful I am to have that shawl around me, my last thoughts were, why does the rain hurt? It burns. And I usually would wake up crying, and it confused me. I never, ever understood. And then in high school, when we started learning about, I learned a little bit in junior high, but that was a topic I couldn't handle, so I really tried to put my thoughts elsewhere. But in high school, it dawned on me that I thought she was a little Jewish girl, and I would think, why would she not know what a shower is? Because rain coming out of walls is a shower. And then it confused me, but why would it hurt? Again, I avoided that topic a lot. The World War II and I stuff made me really nauseous, really sick. I couldn't really listen to the teachers on that. Then, after I got married, my husband woke me up because I was crying in my sleep. And he's the first person I ever sat down and just told the whole story to. And he's the one that said, that sounds like the gas chambers. I go, I always heard gas chambers, but I thought they drowned them in gas. I really did not pay attention. And that's when he said, no, it was like showers. And then it clicked. Okay. All right, that's why the rain hurt. But why didn't she know it was a shower? It still confused me. And the topic was so upsetting, I just put it away. Well, a few years when the orange pretender went down the escalator, I was sick to my stomach. My husband had to wake me up, and the look on his face, I knew. And I watched that happening, and I said, it's starting again. It's starting again. We couldn't stop it. It's starting again. And everyone, of course, said, you're exaggerating. You're being too emotional. That's never going to happen again. His voice always made me sick. When my husband would watch whatever that show was where he says you're fired. We lived in a 2-story house, and he would watch it downstairs, and I would go upstairs and play music real loud in the room because I couldn't even handle the guy's voice. When I started actually listening to him after he came down that escalator, it dawned on me. He was one of the ones in charge of the gas chambers. And it is happening again. So I decided I had to find more about that little girl. And I tried doing one of those hypnosis things. And I just got most of what I already knew, a little girl. But I really didn't get any answers. So then I decided I'm going to sit down and I'm going to look through the memorial pictures of all those little children. Oh God, it was awful. I could only do a few minutes a day. It was just too heart-wrenching. Well, after a few days, I'm thinking, she's not on here. Nothing clicks. And all of a sudden, one of those pop-ups came up. And it was about the Roma and the gas chambers. And I'm like, what? I mean, that was never mentioned. So I thought, okay, I'll check it out. And when I hit that and started reading, it was like I felt relief, like I found her. They gathered all the gypsies. They stripped them down for humiliation, and they were put in the gas chambers. They didn't take pictures of them. There's no recordings of any of them because they were what nowadays would be the immigrants. They were considered the criminals and all that. So they weren't worthy of being treated as even an animal. So they did not record any of them. I'll never find her picture. But I got an answer. I know why the rain hurt, why she didn't know what a shower was. And then I felt happiness because I realized that I've already honored her. Not only am I speaking out now as an adult against this takeover, but I honored her because I was a dancer. And the veils and the skirt dancing were the most joyful part of dancing even. And I realized I was honoring her that whole time. That little girl was honored. I may not know her name, and I'll never know what she looked like, but I honored her already. And it makes me feel good. As for my brother, I did a cord cutting because I love him dearly, and we've had a lot of psychic experiences, I guess you would call it. A lot of other stuff happened between us, but I realized that our paths are done. I'm done. The path he chooses is not mine. He's a good person. He is close to the path that I was on and I'm on, but he keeps wandering, and I just can't deal with the wandering anymore. So as much as I love him, I did the cord cutting so that I won't be emotionally upset over stuff with him. And I'm starting to feel a lot of relief. I feel a lot of hope. I know it's crazy with all that's going on. My cards keep saying that he's not going to be there long. He will not be there a year, much less 4. My cards keep saying major things are happening, energy in March and April. In May, things are going to turn around. And by June to July, everything should be cleared up. I don't know what that means. Obviously, we never understood what was going on because we never knew what questions to really ask. So What questions would we ask now if we didn't know to ask then? We knew there were going to be problems with the elections. We knew she wasn't going to be seated right away. We knew there was going to be some government military involvement. We just didn't know that this was going to happen. So every day is an adventure. I'm just strengthening my chakras, keeping my shields of protection strong, earthing as much as I can, spending time with my grandson, and learning things. I got a dulcimer, and I'm going to learn how to play it. I've wanted to play it since the 80s. I'm teaching my grandson how to play the drums, hand drums. I've even thought about fixing my zills and maybe even practicing with them again. Of course, I have my crystal bowl. And life continues. It's going to be difficult, but we're going to get stronger. We're going to learn so much, and the build back will be better. We just have to work on ourselves and what we can do, and just enjoy the moment and live life. Help those you can help. And know that this too shall pass. Love and light.